Alright, what's going on, guys? Vinland Saga, Episode 8, Beyond the Edge of the Sea. So this episode starts with Askeladd and his fellow Yam Vikings returning home back to their island where they're going to rest up and eat some food and rest for the winter. This is where they also decide that they're going to have the duel between Thorfinn and Askeladd. Askeladd is finally going to acquiesce to Thorfinn's demands. He finally has earned enough respect to challenge Askeladd to a second duel, and that's what we do. We do this second duel. And Thorfinn is notably stronger than the first duel. I mean, obviously, he's bigger, he's stronger. Askeladd even makes a note right at the beginning of the duel. He's like, hey, you look kind of taller, and how old are you again? Of course, Thorfinn doesn't answer the question. He just goes in for the kill, and man, does he ever go in for it. He slices right by Askeladd's neck, goes for the jugular, and narrowly misses. And then Askeladd pulls out his sword, makes a swing, and then Thorfinn dodges backwards. So Thorfinn's obviously got the advantage closer up. He's got the smaller weapons. He's got the daggers. Askeladd's got the advantage when they're further away because he's got the reach, he's got the length because he has the long sword. So Thorfinn he's got to move in, he's got to be crafty and get in closer. So he tries to do that, and he even manages to knock the sword out of Askeladd's hands, which is kind of a feat in and of itself, although Askeladd makes it look like he kind of just did this on purpose. Askeladd, throughout the duel, makes it apparent that he's kind of just not taking it too seriously. He's making small talk with Thorfinn. He's not really engaged 100%. I mean, maybe he's 50% there. And this becomes even evident later when Thorfinn goes in again and Askeladd grabs his right arm, slides his foot out from under him, and then when he falls down to the ground, he's got him laying there on his stomach, worst position possible. He's got his right arm, just held up in the air backwards. And to end the duel, he just does a little snap, crackle, and pop, and that shoulder is dislocated, or maybe something else. Maybe he broke a femur or something. Is that right? Is the femur in your arm or is that in your leg? Someone's gonna correct me in the comments, I just know it. But after that, they decide to have a little bit of dinner. Askeladd finally gets the lamb that he desired. Now, I gotta say, when he was eating that lamb, that was probably one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen. This guy is taking 6 to 8 inch pieces of lamb and he's just gorging himself. He's just sliding it down his throat. I know what you're thinking. It sounds kind of phallic, and yeah, I got that vibe too. I'm just like, what the hell? I'm just kidding. That was a joke. But anyway, no, is this guy like a duck? You guys ever see that episode of The Simpsons where Homer was like just swallowing donuts? He wasn't chewing? Does Askeladd just like swallow his food whole? Is that what he does now? Or maybe he's always done that. I mean, we've never seen him eat up until this point. So, I mean, that could be a reality. So anyway, away from the food, Thorfinn's sitting in his dad's boat, the boat that Askeladd took when they killed him. He's kind of reminiscing. He has a vision of his father, and his father basically tells him, stop crying, stop your belly aching. Remember, a true strength doesn't come from a warrior's sword. So he's basically just telling his son, hey, look, stiffen that upper lip, show some courage, hold your head up high, and be a stronger person. Don't wallow in defeat. Don't feel sad for yourself, because there's no moving forward in sadness. If you just sit there and wallow all day, you're not going to accomplish anything. You need to move forward. You need to stand up and you need to accomplish something. And then right then, as it looks like his dad's putting his hand on Thorfinn's cheek, turns out that the slave girl was doing that, and then Thorfinn frickin' panics. He's like, whoa, what the hell? And he almost slices his future wife. Now, I don't know that for sure. I haven't read the manga at all, so I can't confirm that. But that's just kind of the vibe I'm getting right away, because Thorfinn and the girl talk about how there's a land that they could escape to away from all this war. America! Vinland, which, as you guys, probably already know, from your history books. Or, well, history books still say Columbus found America, which is kind of laughable because the Vikings got there a lot sooner. And that's not even to mention the Native Americans. They'll eventually get there. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen in the series because we got some creative elements that we still need to tease out. And, you know, it's a fictional story kind of in a real-ish world. So we'll see how it all turns out in the end. But then we move on to the Danes. The Dane king and the Vikings are deciding that they're going to invade England. It looks like the winter has finally ended and they've decided to make their move. It looks like the Dane king, one of his sons, the Prince Canute, it looks like this is going to be a war where he's going to prove himself. I looked up his bio on Wikipedia. It looks like he's 17 years old. He's the Prince of Danes. It looks like he's going to be one of those guys. He's going to have to prove himself in battle. He's going to have to prove that he can be a great king and that he can earn his way to the top. So, he's got a lot to prove. So, and it's kind of interesting too, because when we see him, he's wearing a helmet over his head and we only get like a backward side angle of him. And I don't know if you guys got the same vibe, but it kind of reminded me of Griffith from Berserk. The way he had his helmet on, he's young, he's got kind of lighter hair. So, I don't know, maybe this guy's gonna rape someone in the future. Anyway, I hope I didn't spoil Berserk for you guys. You guys should really watch Berserk, by the way. Anyway, we end the episode where the Danes are going through England and they're basically pillaging all these little towns. They're beating all the people. They're just ravishing everyone. And then we get to the point where we see this new guy. They don't mention his name. I looked it up. His name is Thorkel. Probably not pronouncing that right. But he freaking throws an axe through like 4 or 5 people's limbs, and he's just laughing his ass off. So this guy is just like a hulking beast. So now we got like 3 hulking beasts now. We got Thorkel, we got Askeladd, and then we got that Viking dude who recruited Thor's in like the first episode. The guy who's working with the Danes now, who engineered Thor's death. So yeah, it's gonna kind of be interesting how everything fits together. We got a lot of different elements, and we got to see how the puzzle all fits at this point. A lot of different interesting character arcs. You got Thor's, he's still kind of in the mindset where he wants to avenge his father, but his father kind of gives him that, almost gives him, the unsaid message that, hey, it's okay, you don't have to avenge me, go live your life. So we have to see how Thorfinn resolves that issue. We have to see how Canute will be able to handle the pressure of becoming the future king, and if he can prove himself in battle. We got to see what happens with Askeladd and his pirate mercenaries, see if they decide to join the war, if they're going to work with England, and we got to see what's up with this Thorkel guy. We got to see, what's his deal. He looks like a crazy nut, but I love it. This is a great story. I love the action. The aesthetics are beautiful as always, and I'm on the edge of my seat from beginning to end. So that's really all I got to say, guys. Great episode as always. Leave a comment if you got something to say. Leave a like. I always appreciate that. And subscribe if you're not already subscribed. But until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.